The mystery of why giants fall. Welcome to this deep dive into one of the most influential business books of the 21st century, The Innovator's Dilemma by Clayton Christensen. If you've ever wondered how a massive billion-dollar company like Kodak, Blockbuster, or Nokia, companies with the best engineers, the smartest CEOs, and unlimited cash, could suddenly vanish, this is the answer. Christensen, a Harvard Business School professor, didn't just write a business book. He uncovered a fundamental law of the universe. Doing everything right is exactly what leads to failure. By the end of this audio journey, you'll understand why being a good manager can be a death sentence for a company, and how small, scrappy startups use a specific type of innovation to topple giants. Chapter 1. The Paradox of Success. Let's start with the dilemma itself. Imagine you are the CEO of a successful company. You listen to your customers. You invest in products that make a high profit. You ignore small, low-margin markets that don't seem worth your time. That sounds like a perfect business strategy, right? Christensen argues that this is precisely the trap. This is the innovator's dilemma. There are two types of technologies we need to understand. Sustaining innovations, these are the incremental improvements. A faster processor, a sharper screen, a car that gets better gas mileage. Big companies are great at this. Disruptive innovations, these are different. Initially, they are actually worse than existing products. They are cheaper, simpler, and often have lower performance in the ways mainstream customers care about. Because disruptive tech looks worse at first, big companies ignore it, and that is the moment the clock starts ticking towards their demise. Chapter 2. The Logic of Failure. Why don't big companies just pivot? It seems easy on paper, but Christensen explains that companies have value networks. A large company is like a massive ocean liner. It's built to go one way very efficiently. Their best customers, the ones paying the big bills, don't want cheap and simple tech. They want the high-end stuff. So the CEO listens to the customer, and the customer says, "Don't give me that cheap toy, give me the premium version." Meanwhile, in a garage somewhere, a startup is selling that cheap toy to a tiny market the big guys don't care about. Think about the transition from mainframe computers to PCs. The big mainframe companies didn't fail because they were bad at tech. They failed because their customers, big banks and universities, didn't want a weak little desktop computer. By the time the PC became powerful enough to compete, the mainframe companies were years behind.
Chapter 3. The 5 Principles of Disruptive Tech. To survive, you have to understand the laws Christensen identified. Let's break down the core mechanics of how disruption actually happens. Principle 1. Companies depend on customers and investors for resources. The highest performing companies have systems that kill any idea that doesn't satisfy their biggest customers. If the big clients don't want it, the project gets no funding. Principle 2. Small markets don't solve the growth needs of large companies. As a company grows, it needs bigger and bigger wins to move the needle. A $10 million market is a goldmine for a startup, but it's a rounding error for a billion-dollar firm. The giants wait for the market to get big enough, but by then, the startup has already locked it down. Principle 3. Markets that don't exist can't be analyzed. This is a killer. Big companies love data and market research, but you can't research a market that hasn't been born yet. While the giant is waiting for a spreadsheet to tell them what to do, the innovator is out there learning through trial and error. Principle 4. An organization's capabilities define its disabilities. A company's processes are designed to do one thing well. Those same processes make it impossible to do something else. If your company is built to manufacture high-quality steel, it literally does not know how to think about low-quality, cheap steel, even if that's where the future lies. Principle 5. Technology supply may not equal market demand. This is the overshot effect. Companies keep making products better and better until they actually exceed what the average person needs. Once the premium product is too complex or too expensive, a good enough disruptive product comes along and steals the whole market. Chapter 4. How to survive the dilemma. So is every big company doomed? Not necessarily. Christensen offers a blueprint for survival. The secret? Don't try to change the big company. If you want to fight off a disruptive threat, you must create an entirely separate organization. It needs its own brand, its own staff, and most importantly, its own profit and loss statement. It needs to be hungry for the small wins. Think of how IBM handled the PC revolution.
They didn't try to build the PC in their main headquarters. They set up an independent team in Florida, far away from the corporate gravity of the main office. This allowed them to compete in a way the main organization never could. Conclusion. The lesson for today. The innovator's dilemma teaches us that success is fragile. The very things that make you a leader today, your efficiency, your customer focus, your data-driven decisions, are the very things that can make you obsolete tomorrow. Whether you are an entrepreneur looking for an opening or a leader trying to protect your legacy, the lesson is clear. Watch the bottom of the market. The next big thing probably looks like a toy, feels like a downgrade, and is being ignored by everyone who thinks they know better. Outro. I hope this breakdown of Clayton Christensen's masterpiece gives you a new lens through which to view the business world. It's not just about working harder, it's about understanding the forces of disruption. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more summaries and insights into the world's most influential books, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep the lights on and the content coming. Thank you for listening and stay curious.